one of the things my agency did recently was we funded a study on automation, job loss, and the future economy. And we basically found out, according to our researchers, that about maybe 60, 70% of the jobs are probably going to go away in their current form. And so I want to talk to you about that's a bad thing if you have one of those jobs, but it's also a really good thing because we think there's a lot of opportunities going on. So I want to talk about automation. I want to talk about new technologies, a little bit about how some of the transportation projects are changing and how that creates some job opportunities, and also talk about near-term versus long-term. So one of the issues is, and we all know this, is they've had robots around for a while, and it was in manufacturing, and manufacturing has really changed. Robots have really changed how manufacturing works. You need a lot fewer people, you can have a lot more productivity, but the issue is that automation is now spreading out to service jobs. So go to a Panera, go to McDonald's. What do they have? They have a kiosk. Citibank just got rid of its call centers. They laid off 10,000 people. So there are now some places when you call them, you don't know, are you talking to a computer or an expert system or something like that. And it's also in construction. So construction is one of those jobs that's very labor intensive, very hands-on, and now they're starting to look for opportunities to automate some of those jobs too. So here's the bottom line. If you have a dull, repetitive job, I know everyone thinks sometimes their job is dull and repetitive, but if you have a really boring, dull, repetitive job, it's probably going to have something, either going to have a robot or a machine or a computer do it. If you have a job that requires creativity, interacting with other people, it's probably not going to be automated, at least at a certain level. Physical labor, they're increasingly going to find ways to automate those jobs as well. And in the transportation side, one of the things I see happening is more of a use of automation and kind of augmenting humans for construction and repair work. Another issue is, as Eric said, we're going to get self-driving cars. In case you didn't know this, if you have a car that's 2 or 3 years old, it can already drive itself. It just doesn't have all the sensors. Your car is ready to drive itself. If it doesn't, it pretty soon will be. Tesla and Elon's really good about promising things that aren't quite ready yet. But they're working on technology for your car to pick you up. But one of the issues is going to be cybersecurity. We really need to talk about cybersecurity in transportation. We're going to have issues in terms of infrastructure maintenance. It's going to be a lot more difficult than it is now. And there's going to be a need for people who have a lot of cross-training in different disciplines. So if you're an engineer, you're going to have to understand IT issues. You're going to have to understand cybersecurity, communications, and other areas. And here's a funny example. So hackers love to hack road signs. And what happens is that there are hacker websites, so it says, caution zombies ahead, run for cold climates, the end is near, Nazi zombies run. So what the hackers have done is they've posted on websites instructions on how to hack the signs, because a lot of agencies don't change the locks and the default passwords. Well, the hackers will hack the signs and then change the password so the agency can't turn it. So I actually saw a picture of, they had one of these road signs, they had to throw a tarp over it because they couldn't turn it off because the hackers had locked it in. So this is funny, but let me tell you what's not funny. The city of Banning, which isn't that far from here, got hacked. They got a ransomware attack. One of their employees supposedly opened an email he or she should not have. Like, we don't know who it is. They don't have that many. And the city shut down for almost a month. The state of Colorado, even better, got hit with an attack, and someone shut down their DMV. So the DMV had to go back to writing paper licenses. So going to the DMV is infuriating enough. Imagine going to a DMV that doesn't have a computer system. So Orange County Transportation Agency got hacked. Imperial County just got hacked. The city of Atlanta just got hacked, or the city of Atlanta got hacked recently. So one of the efforts WRCOG has done is we partnered with the Weather Transportation Center and Cal State San Bernardino to do a review of cybersecurity. And here's the thing is, we have a cybersecurity issue already on the municipal side. We have a cybersecurity issue on the transportation side, and we don't even have anything automated. Think about how much money your banks are spending on cybersecurity, your credit card companies, and they're still getting hacked. What we're spending on the transportation government side isn't anything close to that, and it's just a matter of time before someone gets hacked, and it's really bad. The other thing is, what we see happening over the long term is less of a focus on building new projects and maintaining what we have. The reason why is there's a finite number of money, and there have been some big wave of public sector investments. There was one in the 1920s, there was one in the 1960s, there was some investment in the 1980s, but we have a lot of stuff that's in bad repair, disrepair, and California, I think, nationally ranks like, the American Society of Civil Engineers ranked our infrastructure in terms of how well we maintain it. I think we got like a D- or something like that. But for being one of the, in my opinion, the wealthiest countries in the world, we have bridges falling apart, we have roads falling apart, we have cities with potholes. And that's going to be an important issue in terms of maintaining it, and that's going to create some job opportunities. So what this all means is there's a lot of folks right now that have low-skill, low-tech jobs. They're probably going to get replaced. They're going to get augmented. They're going to get supplemented. People are going to be using machines to expand, supplement their work. But if you are smart, communicate well, get along with other people, flexible, you're going to be in demand. And so what I would say in terms of future students, we should be training them in specific skills like cybersecurity, but we should also recognize that that may not be their only career. They may do other things. So we really need to also be teaching the kids how to learn, how to be flexible. And here's the other thing is, in a world full of robots, customer service and how you deal with people is going to be really important. All of our industries are going to change. So not only should we be teaching students the technical skills, we need to also teach them the people skills, because that's what's going to matter, because you're going to want to hire someone. So Eric has said this is a great time to be an entrepreneur. You're absolutely right. If you want to start a transportation company or a tech company, it's a fantastic time. But how do you differentiate yourself? Have good people skills. You need to also, this focus on STEM I think is really important, but hey, guess what? We should also teach them how to communicate. We should also teach them how to work with other people. We should also teach them how to be, good neighbors with each other. Those are important skills, and we shouldn't be losing sight of that as well. And so, I want to talk through some potential jobs that might happen. So here's an example. I think we're going to get rid of bus drivers eventually. It could happen in 5 years, could happen in 10 years, could happen in 20 years. Eventually we're going to get rid of bus drivers, but here's the thing. People aren't going to be comfortable getting on a bus just by themselves or with a robot. So what's a possible job? A transportation concierge, or in this case, a bus concierge. They're going to want someone to maybe greet them, someone to maybe help them with their luggage, maybe someone to tell them where they're going, maybe someone so they'll feel safe. That's a job that's going to require some good communication and customer service skills. Here's another example. We're going to need a lot more cybersecurity specialists. You're going to need someone who understands IT, someone who understands communications. You're going to need to know how to operate and maintain. And this person will require some specialized degree and training. So what I also want to leave you with is, we should be mindful that there's going to be ebbs and flows. Here's an example. There are thousands of people working in warehouses and logistics and distribution centers in the Inland Empire. A lot of those jobs are going away. Some of them have already gone away, and Amazon is now in the process of telling people, hey, if you quit your job, we'll pay you to start a delivery service. Great, that's a fantastic business opportunity. Guess what? Amazon is just waiting until they can automate that too. So there's going to be these instances in which these jobs will come up and people will say, oh, that's great, I can move in that field. That's fantastic. But you need to be flexible and realize that job may not be there in 5 years. So even more so, this idea that you start a profession, you get a profession in that profession for 40 years, that's probably going to go away for a lot of people. So keep in mind, just because you're doing something now, doesn't mean you're going to do it in even 5 years or 10 years. So let's make sure we have a generation of kids who are well trained, but are also flexible and communicate well.